Hey, it's Alex. You're watching Devlog 9 for Red Hot Vengeance, my current Game Maker Studio project. I just want to get this out of the way that this is actually should be Devlog 6, because the first two were an older game, Speed Cat, and the third one isn't even a devlog, it's an update video. But I mean, now it's too late to start over at 1, and I wanted the channel to have some kind of structure, but anyway, that's not important. I've done a lot of things that are important, though, since the last video, so let's get into it. First off, I finished up some of the sound effects. I have sounds for the train in the first level now, as well as GUI sounds in the menus. Um, there is a GUI volume slider, just in case you don't like GUI sound effects. Um, I also made some major optimizations to the main menu. You might be thinking, what could you possibly have done to make the menu run bad? Well, basically, it's this particle effect in the background. It's a lava lamp thing that goes on behind the text. Basically, the particle effect is being drawn to the background, and the white part is a surface with the text being masked out onto it, so it looks like the particle effect is like inside the text. I noticed that the FPS real counter wasn't going above 60 in the menu, but in the game it's like 1 to 200. So I took a look at the code and I noticed that I was actually creating a new 1080p surface on every step. So I cleared that up. Now it only just creates one at the start when the when the object's created. So I cleared that up. Now the menu runs at 500 FPS. The next thing I want to talk about is actually the final gameplay feature that I needed to add, and that's the loadout system. So at the start of each level, with the exception of some like special cases, you'll be able to go to the trunk of your car and select your starting weapons. You can see I have made up names for the guns. I'm pretty sure you can't use real names for copyright reasons, but I could be wrong. I don't like to take chances. But anyway, at the start of the game, you won't have any of these unlocked besides the pistol. But more will unlock as you progress and beat each level. I haven't decided the order in which you'll unlock them yet, though. But once you have unlocked like the weapons, you'll be able to use them in previous levels and stuff. You'll always have them, so you'll be able to go back to earlier levels and beat them with the new weapons. Which brings me to the next addition. It's the level selection menu. It's not complete, and each level is going to have its own thumbnail later, but it's functional for now, and it takes you to the appropriate level. You can see some temporary level names there at the bottom too. I've also been experimenting with the music and setting up the rooms where I'll be putting together the cutscenes. The music is made by Brandon, who appeared with me in my old Game Maker projects videos. I'll link his SoundCloud, but basically the way we structured it is that the intro to each track will play in the cutscene before the level, and then when the level starts, it plays the loop. I also made a new fire particle effect. I made it by first drawing these three wavy shape things, and then each particle picks a random one and they spawn randomly around the origin of the effect. Then they each float upwards, and the ones near the edges move slightly toward the middle, and the rate at which they move up is also like tied to their initial distance from the center, so that kind of gives it the effect where the middle of the flame is like taller. Then I added some embers that also like float around. It doesn't look incredible, but it looks better from farther away, which is where the camera's going to be anyway. After all that, I started working on readjusting the collision masks for every object in the game. I needed to do this in order to like streamline the level making process and make it like way easier just to make levels. Before, each object was using either like a 32 by 32 sprite or a 16 by 16 sprite for the collision mask, and then in the room editor I was like stretching and shrinking it just so that it would like line up with the model, and the room editor looked something like this. Yeah, but now I have a unique collision mask for each object, so I don't have to play a guessing game of getting the hitbox to line up properly. I still stretch some objects, but only things where it makes sense, like walls and fences and stuff, where I need to like minimize the amount of instances in 3D drawing. So yeah. And with these changes, I began working on a new level. Here's a preview. This area is not complete yet, but so far I think it's turning out to be pretty good. The last level was just like one huge area, so in contrast, this one's going to be like a series of small buildings that you go through. And that's all I have for this devlog. Over the next week, I probably won't be working on the game just because I want a break. I might start experimenting with VR for use in future projects in Unity or something. But I mean, over the summer, I'll be back in making more progress on this game. One more thing before I end the video, I have a second channel. I've had one for a while, Bros Before Giraffes 2. Basically, I just upload random crap, but there's also a podcast called Dev Den with Max and myself, and sometimes Brandon. There's 12 episodes on that channel, and it's also on SoundCloud and iTunes, but we're thinking about uploading them here from now on since it goes with the theme of the channel a bit better. And not to mention, this channel's been getting a lot more engagement from you guys. So yeah, we're not gonna bombard you with podcasts like all the time or anything. We're just gonna like record them when we feel like it and throw them up. But yeah, just a heads up for future content on the channel. Anyway, that's it for this video, so see you later.